So I was a long-term sub for a position of family consumer science. And you may have the same question that I did as, how was I in family consumer science for when you have a degree and certification in health and physical education? Talking that over with the principal, the reason they wanted me in this position, probably secretly, they didn't say this, was budgeting. But two, they wanted me there for child development and nutrition. I taught a nutrition class. And I also taught foods, which in that class, those students cooked. So they did like different things. So like one week they would learn like German cooking things, and then another one was Spanish. And so it was like cultural foods type of thing. So they were on the French unit and they were making crepes. And me and the other family consumer science teacher, she was so nice, so helpful. She really taught me like how to teach these students. So I was very good at that part. But I've also known the actual teacher in the classroom for a really long time. And I was in her class when I was a para, so I really knew how she taught. I shadowed her as well. And then, so I was like familiar how she worked, how she ran things. And so one thing that she would do that I did, which the family consumer science teacher also told me to do, was 5 minutes are left with the period. So what you do is you get all the food prepared on the front table for the next class. So they needed eggs. So I had a bunch of eggs in like a basket thing. And students stole eggs. I didn't know until the next day. But they stole eggs, 4 students, and 3 of them egged the bathroom. I was not happy when I heard this news and embarrassed and thought I was going to get fired. And then one cooked his egg when he got home. That one's pretty funny. I'm not going to lie. And so when the teacher told me the next day, she approached me and she was like, hey, students in 8th period took eggs from class and egged the bathroom. And I just looked at her and like, no, they didn't. Because we had so many eggs that I wasn't going to sit there and count like 100 eggs. Like I wasn't going to do that. And I don't think she did either. But I was like, no, they didn't. She was like, yeah, they did. Why are you fighting with me? And I was like, I'm not fighting with you. I'm in complete shock. These students have been very good. So like for me, I'm absolutely shocked. Like I never had behavior issues. Some students, yes, but not like to the degree of them like doing that. So, I was frustrated. They got suspended. So that wasn't on me. That was because of security cameras. And then the students, because there were cameras, the principals were able to take care of it. So once I learned their names, I talked to the principal. I said, hey, I want to talk to them. I know that they're getting in trouble. Like, is that okay? And they were like, yeah, sure. So one thing that I did for them was I individually talked to them when they came back to the classroom. One student had it the worst because he was like the leader of the pack. And so first off, the student who used the egg at home for a scrambled egg. First, I was like,
how was your egg?
And he goes,
your egg was really good.
And I was like, and he was like, I know, I'm really sorry. Like, I got in trouble at home and like I got suspended. And I was like, I know, but I want you to know that you have been great for me all semester so far. That's the first time that you've done something. So I'm very shocked. And I said to him, you are a great student. You have a great future. But I don't like that choice that you made. And he was like, thank you. And he was like, why are you being so nice to me? Because my other teachers would have yelled at me and disowned me and like not really have small talk with me. And I was like, oh, well, your choice wasn't a good choice, but that doesn't mean that you're a bad kid. Like, that's not what that means. Like, we all do something and we just have to have consequences for what we do. And that really stuck with me. Talking to the other students too after that, they didn't say that to me, but they did sincerely apologize, except for the last one, where he was like, are you done talking? Are you done talking? And I realized at that moment, you can't touch every student's heart when you want to, or talk to them and inspire them the way you really want to. Because like we all go into this subbing or in education in general, and we say to ourselves, we want to make a difference. We want to change the lives of students, but unfortunately we just can't meet every student. And then that same day, so this is the day I found out that they egged the bathroom. I had to cover physical education, which I know because of me being in health and physical education. So I knew this student and I was just covering for a period and they were going outside. So I was like, okay, cool. So they were just like on the track running. And this particular student, female, decides that she wants to take the golf cart. And I was like, no, get off the golf cart. We're on the track. And she was like, oh, my dad works here, which he doesn't work at the school or for the district. And she starts circling around me. And I'm like in front of the cameras, in front of the freaking cameras. And I was like, you need to get off of this now. And now I'm like kind of yelling at her because now I was like having anxiety for fear that I was going to get in trouble. And I was very good friends with the phys ed teacher, her phys ed teacher. And so I was flustered because I was scared to get in trouble more than getting her in trouble. And her friends and everyone's looking at her on the track. And they're like, and I could hear there were a couple students. This is what's funny, in my opinion, is you can hear a couple of her friends in her friend group for class. They go, she doesn't even have her license yet. I was like, these kids are 16. They probably already know how to drive a golf cart. But, oh my gosh, I was like, these kids. And again, I did not set expectations for that class. I think because I was already flustered about the egg situation that I got there like a minute and a half before the late bell rang. I was pregnant. I was just like, what is going on? So anyways, I told the principal what happened. She did get in trouble. And I had texted her teacher and explained the whole situation. She was safe. I made sure that she was safe. And I had to use my mom voice. Didn't even know how to mom yet, but I had, I had to use that voice because I was really scared that she was going to get in trouble. Or that I was going to get in trouble, especially because it was on security cameras. So it was caught on the camera, and I did talk to the main guy who is the chair department for physical education. I was like, what happens if I do this again? And I talked to the principal. I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I know that shouldn't have happened and whatever. And everyone was really nice about it. They're like, no, like, that's fine. Like, we could tell you were talking to her on camera. And she was laughing about it. Like, no, we're handling the situation. But what are your stories for high school, and let me know down below. I'll see you in the next video.